welcome to another CBBC Africa webinar, and happy Spring Day for those joining us from Africa. We are so thrilled. Today we have two phenomenal speakers, both coming from different parts of the blockchain industry, but such successful businesses. So we have Sandi Bitenc. He is currently sitting in Dubai. He is a serial entrepreneur and the CEO of 3Air. So a little bit about 3Air. They bring affordable, high-speed and stable broadband internet and digital TV to developing countries, which is something that blockchain is really helping create efficiencies and evolving this technology. So 3Air is really doing a great job of that. And Sandi's main drive is to bring blockchain and DeFi to the next billion. He calls himself an IT geek at heart and has a wealth of knowledge in the gaming, health and crypto industry. So welcome, Sandi. It's really great to have you here. And then we have Benton. He's sitting in Massachusetts, Boston. He's just woken up, having his probably second cup of coffee for the day. And he's from CoinTelegraph, which is really exciting. So welcome, Benton. A little bit about CoinTelegraph. They are essentially like a news channel. They cover everything in FinTech, blockchain, Bitcoin. And yeah, they're bringing the audience the latest news. On prices, breakthroughs from across the future in finance, and they're doing a lot of analysis as we sit here. So Benton, who joins us today, is currently the Chief Strategy Officer and was the host of the CoinTelegraph Weekly Market. So he's used to being on TV or on YouTube channels, and he was also the co-founder of the digital marketing division of CoinTelegraph. So welcome, Benton. Okay, so before we go to our key speakers, we always quickly go to Gideon, just to tell us a little bit what's happening in CBBC Africa, what we've been doing this week. It's been a busy week of events. We've got exciting stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks. So Gideon, tell us a little bit about where we're at.
Cool. Yeah, I saw my my signal just hopped off, so I hope everyone can hear me. Is my audio okay, Stacey?
Yeah, you're good.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, so lots is going on in Africa as always.
I think he needs 3Air.
Yeah, Gideon needs 3Air. So let's just pause on him. It's okay. I kind of know what he wants to say. So I'm just going to speak on his behalf in this instance, right? So CBBC Africa has had a great week of events. We've had a very interesting company come from France, a Swiss France company, and they're in the logistics industry. So we've had breakfasts, we've had investor dinners. It's been a really great week for us, just getting to know different industries on a global standard and how they're coming into Africa and how we can play together with them. And then also CBBC, our global leg, we've got our summit happening in Switzerland, in Zug, which is the Crypto Valley. And that's happening in the next week. So very exciting stuff happening on a global level. We're also looking at doing an event in Kenya, in Nairobi with Emergo. So we've got that coming up in October. And then CBBC Africa is going to be hosting their summit next year, March, April. So that's going to be our biggest event to date. We're hoping to get at least 1,000 people in the room, and just grow. We are all about growth right now. So that's really what's been happening at CBBC Africa. And now we're going to go over to Benton. So Benton, tell us about CoinTelegraph, how you guys, work on a daily basis, and just give us insights into your business in blockchain.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having us here today. Happy to represent CoinTelegraph here and talk to your community. So big shout out for all those that are tuning in. But for those who aren't familiar with CoinTelegraph, CoinTelegraph is the largest news organization and media company inside of the crypto space. What really makes us unique is that over the course of our existence, is we've really focused on building a community that is by the community. And I think that's really what separates us from other news organizations in the space. And so what does that mean? Our company-wide is a global organization. We are completely decentralized across all continents, with the exception of Antarctica, and we have team members across the globe. And so when you kind of take a look under the hood of Cointelegraph, we're more than just a news organization. We are an absolute Goliath of a community. And so some of our verticals, the way that Cointelegraph really operates behind the scenes is very much so in a church and state model. We have a reputation inside the space of being one of the most objective news sources, and we've really kind of established our reputation around that. And so first and foremost, we want to bring you the news objectively, and we want to give you the statistics, the data, and the facts. I think that's first and foremost what Cointelegraph represents. But in other areas of our organization, we have initiatives to grow the blockchain and Web3 space to greater heights. That is our ultimate goal and vision, is to continue to bring the good word about blockchain, this technology, and spread it across the entire globe. So we're an education center, we're a community. We have marketing agencies, we have NFT divisions, we have advertorial divisions, we have business development. And so we are more than just kind of a news organization. When you kind of really take a look under the hood, we're partnering with tons of companies inside of this space to help them with marketing services inside of our agency. We're creating innovation circles where thought leaders can come together from major players in the space to share ideas and create that synergy amongst the industry. So we're kind of a connector in many ways as well. And so for those who aren't familiar with Cointelegraph, please go check out the website, which is cointelegraph.com, where you can read tons of our articles where we're bringing you news from anything from technical analysis to markets news to DeFi to NFTs to blockchain gaming. We're touching on all sectors of the industry itself. And so for us, I know myself, when I first got started in crypto just about 5 years ago, I was going to cointelegraph.com to get all of my news because of how easy it was to read, because it really does feel like a friend is telling you about the news and holding your hand through some of the more technical jargon that's in the space. And as we all know, there's something new being developed every day inside of crypto, which is an exciting time. I think we are very excited about the future for the next years ahead, and the opportunity to kind of build these bridges for us to bring audiences from more traditional spaces, whether that's from traditional entertainment, from the traditional Web2 space. And we are building those bridges to bring folks into the blockchain and crypto industry to help ultimately everyone push ahead. And so other ways that we're kind of doing that is, as I mentioned earlier, we have an entire marketing agency. We partner with companies, we'll help them build out their social media infrastructure, their community management systems, from running and operating their Telegram and Discord. We have an entire NFT division where we will help facilitate and partner with big companies, projects, celebrities who are looking to launch their NFTs and integrate them in anything from ideation, conceptualization, to facilitation, execution, and launch and post-launch. So under the hood, Cointelegraph is an absolute beast and a Goliath of an organization. I myself, as the Chief Strategy Officer, oversee a lot of different verticals and am responsible for kind of high-level strategy into how are we going to integrate in, and what are the opportunities ahead, and where should we assess and continue to build other bridges that will ultimately align with our vision to push the industry ahead and to make sure that we are constantly becoming part of the fabric of the community. Because I think that's what really separates us and makes blockchain such a special space right now, is that you're aligning incentives with so many organizations and companies and projects and people, and you're bringing them all together through this technology, which is decentralized in nature. And so there's no one company or no one country that controls or operates a lot of the infrastructure that's being built inside the blockchain space. And we recognize the value in that. And so not only is it going to have an impact on the community level, but on the global scale. And so I think we're very, very excited to be able to participate today, and happy to answer or address any questions that you all have. And again, big shout out to CVVC for having us on today, and happy to field any questions here.
Yeah, great. So let's go to our guests and our attendees and see, does anyone have any questions for Benton on CoinTelegraph? Is there anything that you would like to ask him? Because he's going to start his busy day now, so we don't have him for the full session. While people are just maybe writing their questions or thinking of something to say, Benton, I'm going to quickly go back to Gideon. He seems like he's gone to a place of good connectivity. Perhaps he's got 3 air in the gap. So let's quickly go to him and then have a quick update, and then we'll see whether there's any questions for you, okay?
Yeah, cool. I think, Stacey, you actually covered most of what's happening in Africa. A lot of events happening. I think you've touched on it. You know, we've got one coming up in Kenya with Emergo and Adanian Labs. We're planning towards a CV summit like the one that we have in 2 weeks in Switzerland. We're going to be centering a whole African blockchain conference around a Cape Town blockchain week, which from a location point of view, you can't get much better. So really exciting to really grow the ecosystem here in South Africa and in Africa. And Cape Town as a destination for people to come, it's going to be a really awesome experience. And then I've got a really cool an announcement from an ecosystem partner that we've just signed, where we're going to be really helping them to expand across the continent. We're doing a lot of events with them. They'll be part of our African blockchain report. And our new partner is Valor, which recently closed a $50 million Series A to help them expand and become Africa's biggest exchange. I'll post the link in the chat if anyone wants to go have a look at Valor, but it's VALR.com. That's pretty much it from our side. So any questions, if you have any questions for Benton, I think there is one in the chat there. Over to you.
Yeah, so we have a question from Mario Benton. He says, is CoinTelegraph open to collaborations with third parties, or is all your development done in-house?
Yeah, so we collaborate industry-wide, from Web 2 space to Web 3 space. Any kind of strategic partnerships, we're happy to talk to any company in the space as long as we align on our objectives. So whether that means from an agency standpoint where our marketing division will partner with it, or from the larger organization with strategic partnerships to help sponsor events, to help run and facilitate certain things that we align together with. So yes, Mario, great question. That is definitely stuff that we do.
Benton, if people want to get in touch with you, how do they do that? And who in CoinTelegraph is currently covering the African news?
Yes, so we do have franchises around the globe that actually translate a lot of our news into their native languages. So I believe we do have a franchise in Africa, and we are also, this second part of the question, who's let me see there. How can attendees contact me? Benton at CoinTelegraph.com, or you can follow me on Twitter at BY_DeFi. So those are typically the two best ways to get a hold of me, is either email or on Twitter. So please feel free to reach out to me. Happy to address any questions from any of the attendees today.
Cool. And then one final question is, how does one find the costings for the offerings you mentioned, such as community management, NFT drops, and so forth?
So we will set up an initial discovery call. We do vet all of the projects that we partner with, because CoinTelegraph has a reputation in the space that we do have to uphold. We'll set up an initial discovery call. We'll do some fact finding and do our due diligence. And then what we will typically do is send over a deck customized and tailored to your specific needs after that initial conversation. And so that is kind of like one of the things that we offer with our agency, is this white glove service where you're getting a custom tailored package to allow you to leverage our ecosystem to help grow and achieve your goals, whether that's community management, social infrastructure growth. We even offer SEO and SEM packages as well. So the full suite of any kind of marketing agency out there, we have it in-house, and happy to set up meetings with folks.
Okay, and just another question also from Triona. She says, how do we actually get in touch with the Cointelegraph African franchise? Could we potentially email you and then you could do like an introduction or help us see how that all works? Is that good?
Exactly. Yes. Feel free to shoot me an email after this. I will get you in touch with the folks over there at our franchise, and happy to help facilitate that. I know we do a lot of coverage in general about the continent of Africa and what you all are doing just in general, and all the developments from all the countries over there. I know it's a hotbed for crypto, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen just more broadly across the continent of Africa.
Great. Thank you, Benton. It's really awesome to have like a local newspaper in crypto and just in blockchain really, and everything that you guys are doing. So thank you for bringing us the news. And it's been really great to have you with our webinar today, and we hope to work with you in the future. Okay,
thank you again for having me.
Yeah, cool. So now we're going to go to Sandi. Sandi, over to you. You've got the stage. It's all yours.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I'm really happy to be here. I am a bit, pressed in time, let's say it like this. So I've been through, I think, yeah, this is now the third event that I have this today, and I still have 2 more to go. So, and it's evening here already. But I did do a short presentation. So let me just share my screen. Let's do it like this. So just please let me know if you can see my screen.
Everything looks good, Sandi. Okay.
So just this was done really, really, on short notice, and I'll read you through it and get my thoughts around it a bit. So we'll be talking a bit about transforming traditional businesses with blockchain, and of course I'll be also talking about 3R and what we do, because we are a company that's coming, off of a traditional business, and I do think that we are kind of transformational for, let's say telecoms, because we are coming out of a telecom. So I would like to start with a quote from Jordan Peterson. I don't know if you follow him, but he's really, really a smart guy, and I like what he's saying. And there was a quote that really I remembered, and he was saying there might be no natural resource other than trust. And if you think about it, blockchain is actually the thing right now that can really, let's say, take away this trust issue that we usually have if you want to have businesses. And of course, trust and ownership are actually the cornerstone of business. I don't think that you can do any business right now in the current model that we have without trust and without any ownership. So, and blockchain is actually about both. And first of all, we all know that blockchain can reduce trust, right? So we all can trust in a code, in a decentralized code that cannot be changed. That's the basis of it. So I know if I do something, what the outcome will be, and if the other party does something, what the outcome will be. It's also about ownership, right? So just looking at the NFTs, what we have is providing some kind of ownership of digitized assets, and this brings then just different business models, different monetization options, and so on. And it enables privacy-enabled information sharing. So that's also one of the features there. So I can share some information with somebody else without, so in a matter that they know it's true and it's a valid information, but I still can keep my privacy on it. And it also enables then different governance models and decision-making options. And I'm pretty sure that this is the technology that'll revolutionize the majority of businesses going forward. It's also interesting. I was having a conversation not so long ago with somebody who is in the space since the really early beginnings, and he was doing a lot of work with other projects starting in 2012, 2013. And he said, it's funny, when we were doing business on the blockchain in 2013, every company was actually kind of coming off of traditional businesses and generating revenue. Right now, we don't have almost no businesses that are actually generating revenue by themselves. So all of them are just built on future promises. But I do think that these things are now also changing slowly. So let me explain you a bit about 3R and the ecosystem that we are building. So our idea is to really connect the unconnected and then to really fulfill on the promise that why blockchain was actually built, why Bitcoin in the first place was built, right? And it's to provide financial services to those that are underserved. So in a sense, banking the unbanked. And of course, if you're unconnected and unbanked at this point in time, you're for certain also unempowered. And why we think that we can do this, and I'll go deeper into those things a bit later, is first, we can connect people. So we have our own telecom and we have our own technology that can do it. We create digital identities for users. We kind of then bank them. We also provide fiat onboarding and offloading ramps. And there's also a chivet to this in banking the unbanked. And of course, give them the options, the financial tools that are popping up right now with DeFi and so on. And those for sure can totally replace the current banking system, and then also provide additional revenue streams. And we think that this is kind of a model that needs to be followed if you really want to, bank the unbanked and give them the empowerment. And of course, it needs to be accompanied with continuous education. This space is so new that not a lot of people actually know how to deal with it. And education is for sure on top of our list also. So how to actually, what did blockchain do to our business? So 3R came out of a telecom that's been operating for a few years already in the African continent. Currently, we are running a telecom in Sierra Leone. We are connecting there around 10,000 people. And how it came about that we started thinking about blockchain is actually with problems in scalability. So people were coming into our offices and are still coming into our offices each month to pay for a monthly subscription fee because they don't have bank accounts, they don't have credit cards, and it's kind of tough to each month serve the same clients just because they need to come into for payment. And then this actually gets even worse because we need to identify them each month, and that's also a issue that we would not think that it is, right? But there's a lot of people that still don't have valid IDs in Sierra Leone, and they sometimes come into our offices with handwritten cards and stating their name and here's the ID. So those are the challenges that we face there right now, and blockchain for sure is one of the solutions for them. But we didn't stop here, so we then were looking deeper into what blockchain can actually do in this space, and we actually implemented that on a few different levels. So our business model changed almost entirely. We changed the way that we do authentication and authorization, and this is actually then connected to how we provide services. We changed the payment solutions. We are changing the infrastructure model, how we are building out in our infrastructure, and we're also changing, our governance model. And yeah, I've been already talking a bit about our challenges, right? So operating in emerging markets does pose some challenges that people usually don't think about. And yeah, payment solution and authentication is really tough there. And there is I see there's a typo in the presentation. So how to really bank the unbanked, and just think about it a bit right now, and I'll be coming back to this, but how to bank somebody that doesn't have a internet connection, and how to bank somebody who does have an internet connection but doesn't have a bank account actually. So you need to onboard somebody, and they need to be able to get crypto. So how do you do that? And those are the two key issues that we think need to be solved before you really can claim that you're banking the unbanked. So let me get a bit into those thoughts. So there is a really big overlap of people that are unbanked and unconnected. There's around an 80% overlap. So banking them with crypto, there's no crypto without internet. That's it. It's impossible right now. So this is why we think that we can actually do it. So the first is we can provide broadband internet to people that are unconnected right now. And I'll go a bit deeper into how we do that a bit later. And the second thing is, how to onboard somebody that only has cash. You need to be able to take in cash and give out crypto. So this means that you need to be present on ground, or you need to have a network of people that can do it for you on ground. So somebody needs to be present on ground, taking cash, give out crypto, and of course also vice versa. So how we connect people, and this is probably the heart of where everything with 3R and K3 actually started. So we have a proprietary broadband solution where we can connect people over air on distances of up to 50 kilometers and with speeds with up to 1 gigabit per second. And those of you that know a bit, that 1 gigabit per second is pretty fast, right? So you can do everything with 1 gigabit per second almost. So we can also connect around 15,000 users on one of our base stations. So how it looks like is we set up a base station, and usually when we go into an area, let's say a city, we would set up 2 or 3 base stations, and then with that we can cover almost the entire city always. Currently in Sierra Leone we have only 2 base stations, and we're covering around 90% of the total population, of the total city with our signal. Why is this so important? And especially, so we're focused on Africa, right? On emerging markets. It's important because there is no broadband infrastructure present right now in Africa. And people usually, don't think about it, but there is less than 1% broadband penetration in Africa currently. Less than 1% have broadband. Everything else is mobile, and even mobile is really not on par everywhere, as you would think you would be able to connect in Europe and so on. And if you've been to Africa, you've probably experienced that also. So here is the basis of our advantage. So we don't need to dig trenches. We can connect people within 6 months. So this means we set up a base station, 2 base stations or 3 base stations. We can cover the entire area at once. Traditionally, how this would be done is that a telecom starts digging, and laying cables first in one street and in the next one and in the next one. So it really takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. And I would even argue that right now it's almost impossible to do in Africa. So first of all, the cities are so big and so overcrowded that it's just impossible to stop all the traffic, start digging up trenches, you know, and nobody is really doing it, or there are a few places that's been done, but really, really slowly. What it also means that we are really, you know, we have low cost in operational cost. And of course, also, you know, once we set up the base stations, we don't need to dig trenches. It's far less expensive, and we can cover the same areas with a fraction of a cost of a traditional telecom. I mentioned already that we are in Sierra Leone since 2019, and over 10,000 people are actually using our services right now. And through this link, we can provide 3 services, and that's also where 3 name comes from. So providing 3 services over air, and that's broadband internet, it's digital TV, and it's IP telephony, and also digital TV. So TV is also not on par. Usually, you know, the majority of people there still use satellite TV, and satellite TV doesn't work when it's raining, or the reception is really, really bad. And that's also one of the advantages of our technology, is that weather doesn't really affect us. So that's one part. But then, you know, I was talking in before that we are doing it also a bit differently. So we are doing it like even more differently. And this is where the blockchain part actually comes into play. So once we are delivering this high-speed internet, what we are doing is we are allowing the users to share their bandwidth. So we are calling this access point nodes, and every user can set up an access point nodes, and those access point nodes then connect to our towers, and they also connect to another access point. So with this, we're trying to build a seamless mesh network where you can literally walk in with Wi-Fi and connect to the internet. And with this, also, so everyone can actually stake their tokens in the access points, and those access points and those tokens are then generating revenue, and they're generating revenue from the users that are actually using the services. So this is, I think, where we are different than majority of other projects that are trying to do something, you know, similar. We're actually having a service that people need and people want and are willing to pay for, and that revenue, you know, the users that are using the services are willing to pay for this, then gets distributed and shared with the users. And of course, you know, everyone involved needs to get a cut of it. Then the next thing that I've been talking about is also digital identities, and digital identities have a big opportunity of impacting how businesses actually work, and not only telecoms, right? Every business. And we're doing a lot with this already. The final solution is almost done. So this is already in beta testing. And we'll be inviting new users to the app quite soon. So if anyone wants to, you know, be one of the first beta testers of the digital identities that we're coming out with, you know, you can go to our website and just apply for the whitelisting, and the whitelist, we will be taking people for beta testing off of the whitelist. So what this actually means is that you have an identity that's hashed on the blockchain, and to that identity, then you can add verifiable claims. So this means that you can add almost any data that you want to be, you know, verifiable with somebody else, and then you can also privacy enable share that data with them. So you can literally, you know, if a policeman stops you and wants your driver's license, you don't need to show them all your data. He doesn't need to know where you live and everything. So he needs to identify you, that it's you, and then he needs to know if you have a proper driver's license or no, and it's a yes or no question. He doesn't need to know any other information, and this is what actually we're able to do here. And just thinking a bit about digital identities, it's not only about identifying yourself, it's about keeping a provable track record of your, we can say, of your life in a sense. So how we are utilizing this in the next step is actually keeping track of people's payments and, building a credit score around it. And when that's also one of the big issues of emerging markets. So, they don't have credit opportunities. Nobody will lend them anything because they don't know anything about them. They don't know if they'll be repaying or not. So if you want to get a loan, you actually need to present something, and you need to be able to convince the other party that you'll be able to return that. And having this on the chain, this can really, first of all, enable you to get anything at all. And, it can also transform other ways of lending, because it can be instantaneously, it can be really verifiable. Nobody can really fake that data. So there doesn't need to be anyone who is really checking it in depth and so on. It's just then more or less about how to structure the algorithms around it, that you get a yes or no somehow answer out of it. And of course, there's lots of other options, and where this will be used, and it does seems to be forming a standard. So hopefully more and more institutions, businesses will try this out and use it. Then the next thing, how we are transforming a bit the traditional businesses, is that we are using NFTs as our service carrier. So what this means is that we're using NFTs with connectivity capabilities built in. So how this will look like is you will go to our NFT marketplace, and our NFT marketplace is actually up and running already. You can take a look at it at app.3air.io, but those NFTs that are there right now, they're not connectivity enabled yet. So we're not at the stage yet. We are still solving a few issues there, because there needs to be direct communication between an NFT and our hardware. So this is, but it's not far away. So I think that within a month or two, we'll have the connectivity NFTs already out. So how this will look like is, you'll go on our marketplace, you will select an NFT of a service that you want, and you will buy it, and you will just stake it, plug it into a device, to your device that's connected to our network. So each of the devices in our network will actually be represented by their own NFTs. So we have the device NFTs, and then the connectivity NFT actually stakes or plugs into this device NFT, and this activates the device and the connection to our towers. And this is how you'll be able to get connectivity. And what this enables is actually that you can sell internet connectivity in a sense. So you can become a reseller pretty easily. It enables secondary markets. It enables you, so you have a monthly subscription, you use 2 weeks of it, and then you go for a vacation, and usually this 2 weeks would just go to waste. What you can do right now, you can try and resell the second 2 weeks, right? Or you can send it to your friend or your family to use it up, or you can maybe lend it out. I'm pretty sure there'll be some new business models popping up, and people will be buying maybe some bigger NFTs and then just renting them out. So it does enable a secondary market in the broadband space, and also in TV, of course, and IP telephony with it. So we do think this is something that's not been done yet in the space, and we're really trying to lead the way there and get the NFTs, some new utilities, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be the future. So we'll see NFTs not only as some JPEGs, but really as utilities. So I also talked a bit about, then banking people, right? And then there is a question of going custodial or non-custodial. And a lot of the hardcore blockchain guys will say, yeah, absolutely non-custodial. But we do disagree there a bit. So onboarding new people, and you need to think about, what kind of clients you actually have. Giving them just straight away a non-custodial wallet and expecting them to keep really good care of their private keys. Probably they won't even know what a private key is. It's a way to disaster. So this is why we are offering at first custodial wallets, and then educating people, and then they get switched to non-custodial. And of course, everyone has a option. But just if, and I'm speaking here about blockchain in general and crypto in general, if we want to expand this, we need to make it as simple as possible. And while we are already quite a long time in the space and we know this, and in the end it's easier for us, just remember how you actually started. I can remember how I started, and I I am connected and doing stuff with computers. I'm also a developer myself. I literally, the first time that I got on, there were some words and I was just like jumping over it, and I was thinking, okay, it's a password, I'll be able to retrieve it. That was my first my first wallet. So that one was gone pretty fast. So we cannot expect people to really be onboarded in great numbers and big adoption if we don't make it as easy as possible for them. And then we can talk about a bit about the fiat and crypto onboarding, and I touched on this subject a bit already. So what we have right now currently in the space is just you need to have a bank account, you need to have a credit card so you can register with an exchange, and then you can buy crypto with it. But if you're banking the unbanked, this doesn't work. So either you have somebody who has a bank account, but then he's not unbanked anymore, or you can take in cash. And this is why we are actually present in every region that we are entering. So we need to have our offices there. We also need to hold licenses for providing internet, because this is still a regulated space, and it's getting more and more regulated, to be honest. So we'll be there, we'll be present, but we're also partnering up with projects that are trying to do peer-to-peer lending systems. And one of them is actually CashLink. It's a pretty cool concept. And what they're doing is they're having a network of people that they vouch for, and those people actually can take your cash and give you crypto. And also when you have crypto and you want to cash out, you can also send them crypto and they'll give you cash. And this is just how it needs to be, right? If we want to bank the unbanked, we need to give them the opportunity to do this. Else, what's the point? How can we do it, right? Then everything else is just talk. So additionally, the services that we are then later on trying to provide is DeFi services. And once we actually connect the people and we have a huge user base, and just looking just at Africa is so huge, and there are so many people that are unconnected. There's so much opportunity. Once you give somebody an internet connection, you can also tell them, look, this is good, this is not good. You should use this DeFi protocol because they're really, really good. Or just giving them also opportunities to get some additional income. And emerging markets, we've probably seen how lives can get impacted with just $20-50 per month just by playing a play to earn game. And of course, just long term, right now we still don't have a long-term solution with some good economy around it, but things are getting better. I'm pretty sure sooner or later some games will figure it out how to make it sustainable long term. And of course, you know, the ones that will probably benefit mostly off of playing will probably be the lower income countries, because there it makes sense, there it makes a lot of impact, you know, if you earn $20 additional per month. And of course, also there are some learn to earn and also some social fi projects popping up. And this is also what we're looking then to partner up, and partnering up with somebody with a huge user base. It's usually beneficial then, and it should be beneficial for everyone. So it should be beneficial for 3R, it should be beneficial for the partner that's partnering up, and it should be beneficial for all the users. This is what guides us actually how to go forward with getting partnerships in. And so how can blockchain, you know, solutions then transform telecoms? And we talked about digital entities. We talked about payment solutions that are changing. There are reward systems that can be built around a token. There are referral and agent systems that we are also implementing in our own project. So to be a reseller or an agent on ground, you'll actually be required to hold some of our tokens. And you know, this is not just to hold the tokens, it's also about having a bit skin in the game before you give somebody, you know, let's say a license to sell your services. They need to be held accountable if they do some funny stuff, right? Governance is really big in our project also. So we are setting up first of all, we are setting up a community pool where the token holders will have like full control over the pool. And then with time and with the community getting educated, you know, also in the telco space and so on, we might give away also some of the control of the protocol. There are solutions about hardware ownerships that can be done, you know, with support of the token. And we are calling this, you know, own your own hardware solution, where the company stakes tokens for every single person that they give a hardware to. And those tokens need to be staked for at least a year. The sharing models around the internet connectivity, as I explained. And then there are in the telcos, there are also some other use cases for blockchain. And one is for sure fraud prevention. One is facilitating roaming. And in the end, there's also some ideas forming around how to tokenize bandwidth in the end, right? So each and every byte that runs through the servers and the hardware could potentially be tokenized, and this then brings to probably a total revolution in the space. So more or less, this is what I wanted to say today. And I'm also, yeah, so I think my time is slowly running out. I hope it was at least entertaining, educational a bit. I hope it wasn't too much. I know that sometimes our project looks a bit overwhelming. There's a lot of angles to it, and just connecting a big traditional and already complex traditional business to the blockchain makes it just even more, you know, complex, and it takes some time to understand.
Sandi, I absolutely loved your presentation. I also really thoroughly enjoyed the examples that you gave, so that it made sense, and it wasn't just, you know, this is what you do for NFTs, or this is what you do in digital identities. You actually broke it down and went into like how it's really going to help the person get their credit application. You know, I'm visualizing them being able to get something, get a loan, and be able to do those things. So thank you for delving deep. I actually had a question, just asking on the digital identities and being able to store them in the app. Is it recognized by officials? So say, for instance, someone got stopped in a roadblock and they showed their driver's license without having the actual physical. copy. Is it recognized by officials in certain African countries, or how does that work?
No, not yet. There is a lot of work being done there, but right now we don't have anything that's officially recognized yet. We are in talks with a few of the governments already, but these things do take time. And last year we saw Cardano actually doing something in Ethiopia with some official IDs that were based on education, so on university grades and certificates, but this also still hasn't come to fruition, but there was an agreement made there. I think the only place in the world that is actually recognized, a digital entity is recognized by the officials, is in Zouk, I think, right? In Zouk you can literally log in with your DID and pay your taxes with Bitcoin. I think that's the only official governmental level DID currently.
Yeah, and something else that I really thoroughly enjoyed you talking about was how NFTs is not just going to be art, and it's going to go into that utility space, because data, especially in Africa and even in South Africa, it's so expensive. So if I were to know that I could sell my data if I was traveling for 2 weeks somewhere where I wasn't going to use it, or I could give it to a family member as a gift. Just yesterday I was having to buy my sister data because she had run out and she was driving. So this is something that would be really nice to play into our markets. We have a question from someone there saying, are you currently partnered with any hardware mobile devices?
No, we are not partnered with any hardware mobile devices. We actually don't need to partner. You will be holding your mobile device and you would be connecting to a Wi-Fi normally, like you are right now, or you would be having your own router at home where you can then connect any of the devices. So our system is fully compatible with the current standards. So there is no need of some extra devices, and everything that potentially you would need to connect to our tower directly, it's then provided actually by us.
Fantastic. So I don't think there are any more other questions, Sandi. If people want to get hold of you, do you want to share just your email address one more time, or just do a quick shout out before we end the session?
Yeah, sure. So anyone who wants to come in touch with me, my email is sandi@3air.io. So it's my first name, SANDI @3air.io. And you can also go to our website, 3air.io, and there are all the social media links there. I'm really active on Telegram in our channel. We have a Discord channel. I'm not so active in Discord, so and there's a lot. If you want to read a bit, and learn about us a bit more, there is a white paper available. I think it has over 130 pages, so you have a lot to read. It is a big project that we are doing. There are the docs pages, and we have a quite extensive blog also, so that you can then even read a bit more about us.
There's just one more question, and it's really nice. So Zandila says, thank you so much, Sandi, for this. It was a lot for me, but definitely worth it. I'm a co-founder of a call center, and I'm very much interested in blockchain, and I'd like to integrate it at some point, but I don't know how. Can I get more info on how to learn to earn a program, or possible program that I can join? So perhaps it's just, how do they learn more about what you have to offer?
So again, if you want to, in a sense, partner up with us, just either write me an email or look me up on Telegram, and all the links are provided over our website. So 3air.io, and sure, we really love to help out if we can.
Awesome, Sandi. That was so great. So we just want to say thank you one more time, and to 3Air for all the great things that you're doing and just changing lives and making such a great impact in Africa where it's so needed. So thank you for that.
A question there is Zandil, are you from South Africa? Is it possible that we actually met at Alan Binde's residences in 2 weeks ago, or no, a month ago, a bit more than a month ago? It could be. It sounds like it.
Could be. I'll see if she types an answer now. I'm from South Africa. Yes. So maybe you have met.
I think we did. I think we were interesting.
Fantastic. Okay, guys, thanks for joining us. We look forward to meeting you on the next one, where we can learn more about blockchain and industries and how we're changing the world. So from us at CVBC Africa, until next time, cheers.